guys, it's your girl Tititaughtyou and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell by the title of the vlog, we're gonna be having our tea with Tititaughtyou, and we're gonna be talking about what have you learned, what have you outgrown from, you know what I mean? But before we begin, I want to make sure you guys smash that like button, like, comment, and subscribe, and add me on my other social media platforms, which are linked down below in the description box. I wanted to do this one because I noticed that since as of, I want to say, the middle of 2025, I'm not really the kind of person that sets goals for the year, like for the new year, like new year, new me. I don't really do that. I do goals weekly. You know what I mean? I do goals monthly. I will say this particular goal I wanted to talk about is pretty much talking about my growth that I've noticed in certain things that I would do that I no longer do anymore. I have outgrown these habits and things. You know what I mean? So I noticed that for me, I really believe that it's a spiritual thing because I'm a kind of person that does meditate and I also pray. I also feel like it takes a weight lift off of me when I just give it to God, or I just decide to just sit on it, like to have my self-reflections, as I call it. A self-reflection is like, how do I explain this? At the end of my day, I would think about what did I do, what could I have done better, and what could I do for the next day. You know what I mean? By the way, we are drinking just mint tea. This is from, I always forget the name, you guys. Trader Joe's. There we go. Nothing crazy. It's just mint tea, okay? I'm gonna add a splash of ginger and a little bit of lime. So I feel like when it comes to my growth, something that I do a lot that I have been being more aware of is like being more self-aware. And what I mean by this is like, there are times where I could be really oblivious and I need to read the room a little bit more. Not saying that I don't have common sense and I'm a dizzy girl. No, I'm saying like, let's say if I go out somewhere, I'll be like, yo, oh my God, what am I thinking about? Just whatever the case may be. My friends be like, yo, they can hear you. I feel like, oh, like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So that's a perfect example. I could be talking loud and and thinking that my friends can only hear it, but other people can hear it too. So I'm like, oh shoot, my comments, like, let me be more mindful about what I say. You know what I mean? Another thing that I've been working on is being overly opinionated. Oh, this tea is good. Now, I know that my opinion is not always necessary. You know what I mean? And it's not always needed. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a Capricorn thing. Y'all know how I get all zodiac-y and stuff, but I'm being serious. I feel like when it comes to me speaking on certain things, I can be a little bit critical. Not even a little bit. I can be very critical sometimes. And I will say that I don't hear of it too much from my past relationships. I've heard of it, but nothing too crazy, like the extreme. Like, you know how some women, they can be very condescending to their partner. I don't do that. It's just that sometimes I would mention things, and it's because the way that I do something could be something completely different the way how somebody else could be doing something. You know what I mean? Like, let's say we have a baby, for example. The way that I would put her down to bed is not the same way that you would put her down to bed. You know what I mean? So I can really be quick to point things out like that. And sometimes it's just like, girl, nobody asked you. Like, you know what I mean? So I have been trying to be more self-aware of being overly critical when it's not always needed. Now, I get that my friends come to me for advice, you know what I mean? And I would chime in and say my 2 cents. But there have been times where instead of me just sitting back and listening, like in the middle of the conversation, I would like interrupt. I'd be like, hold on 1 second, but da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, yo, I just called you just to vent. Just listen to me. I'm like, okay, I'll be quiet. Like, then I'll listen and then I have my 2 cents, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's like, I just called you just to vent. I didn't call you to give me your 2 cents. You know what I mean? So that is something that I have been working on, and I'm not gonna lie. I catch myself now. I'm like, oh, like I really do that often, and it's not my fault, you guys. I really mean no harm. I just be like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done this and that. And what about, girl? What about last year you did this such and such? It's like, hold on until later that we can have that conversation. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just good to just touch and just listen. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, that lime is strong. So I want to say it's definitely growth in myself. Certain things that I have outgrown, now that we're touching that right now, let me see. Being opinionated online. Now, this one, I'm not gonna lie to you, is a stickler. The reason why I say it's a stickler for me is because going back to me being hypercritical. Now, I don't always like to chime in people's posts that I do not follow, but when it comes to my friends, I'll be quick to leave a comment. Just to support, commentate, you know what I mean? Like comment, show love, support. But I noticed that when it comes to people that I do not follow, sometimes I will leave a comment because someone sounds like they know something. And let's say you know a little bit more than that, you want to educate them. I'm not gonna lie, I have been that person where I'll be like, just to chime in real quick, or like, I don't really do this often, but I hope you know that like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be that person, like the little brief essay on somebody's post because they're speaking on something that I'm more familiar and educated on. You know what I mean? So there is nothing wrong being educated on something. There is nothing wrong admitting that you do not know something. There's nothing wrong with you admitting to say, you know what? I'm unfamiliar with this subject. I'm naive to this. Can you educate me on it? It's okay to say that you're not educated on something. You know what I mean? But why do I feel the need to comment? And that goes back to me being overly opinionated. Sometimes I don't need to say anything. And I feel like maybe it's a piece of me making up for the little girl that I was back in the day. When I was younger, standing up to bullies. Maybe it's an internal thing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it can be comments about me on my posts, on my reels, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, on my Snapchat, on my Twitter. You know what I mean? And it's just like, why even bother explaining to a person? Because at the end of the day, anyone is going to have an opinion on what you do, whether you want to hear it or whether you even ask for it or not. You know what I mean? So I do this thing called like my weekly sweeps. I'll call it my weekly sweeps. So what I do is I'll tweet something, I'll comment on Instagram, and then like I'll be like, I'm gonna grab this later. I'm gonna delete this later. I'll delete the comment. So I'm trying to train myself to do that more to the point, and then not just more to the point, do that more and trying to hesitate on commenting at all. Like, no point. Like, there's no point in me commenting because everybody's gonna have an opinion no matter what you do. No matter what you do. And I'm over here like, I'm never gonna meet this person. This person may not even take what I'm saying seriously or even read my comment. So why leave a comment? You know what I mean? Sometimes just gotta let people be. And I just feel like that, I don't know. There is nothing wrong with wanting to educate somebody on something that they do not know about. You know what I mean? I just feel like sometimes I give somebody a little bit of pushback of hope to grow and learn because everybody makes mistakes. You know what I mean? And I just feel like sometimes if I leave a comment, it could possibly leave a seed in that person's brain to be like, you know what? That bitch is right. No, you know what? She right. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like sometimes you never know what your comment could leave an impact on somebody. You know what I mean? Like what it could affect. I mean, how it could affect them. So I feel like somebody comments something and I'm like, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then in my head, I'm thinking they're gonna read it and be like, you know what? Yeah, that was rude. Or, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. You know what I mean? Like me, that's me. I'm that little glimmer of hope. That's why I be commenting on things. But I'm not like being rude to people or stuff like that. No, that's not what it is. I just feel like sometimes, like I said, in my brain, someone says a comment, they're not familiar on something or uneducated on something, and I just happen to leave a comment back. But there are people out there, I will say, I'm getting a little cold, let me get my blanket. There are people out there, I will say, that can be very rude. Like, I have seen some comments, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like, when it comes to me and my life, like, again, going back to being that little girl that I still have in me, that's quote unquote making up for the bullies in the past that used to pick on me, whatever the case may be. I find myself like commenting back, and it's just like, I should not have to say anything at all. Because no matter what I say, people are gonna believe what they want to believe. You know what I mean? Something else I want to touch base also about is something that you now do, like a growth thing that you now want to practice. So like I said, for myself, I'm that person where I'm training myself to, if I put a comment, delete it. Think about it, like, what's the point? and don't leave and train myself to not even bother wanting to leave a comment at all, because people are going to think about whatever they want to think at the end of the day. You know what I mean? People are going to think about whatever they want to do. They're going to have their own opinion no matter what you say, because their head is stuck in their ways sometimes, and that's people's choice. So that's something that I've been practicing, to not leave a comment at all. And if I do, delete it. What else? Let me see. I'm trying to think for myself. I would say I find myself being more precious about my time, and thank the Lord above, because I'm in a healthy relationship. This is new, this is fresh. And when it comes to you, like, as you grow up, you start noticing, like, nobody taught us how to properly date. Nobody taught us how to properly vet. You know what I'm saying when it comes to dating. And I'm not making this a dating vlog. I really not. I just want you to understand that I'm relating this going back towards time. And the reason why I'm tying it towards time is because I find myself being more selective with who I want to spend my time with. Now, let's be real. It is in human nature. It is in our nature to want to hug someone, to have intimacy with somebody, etc., etc. But there are people out there, and I've been there before, where just because I craved that intimate moment, I decided to engage in it and share that with somebody that I knew that did not deserve my time, energy, or intimacy. You see what I'm saying? So if I have that moment, I'll call it the itch. You can relate to however you want to relate to yourself. It could be sex. It could be you just wanted to have somebody be in bed with you because you love being held. Whatever the case may be. You like going to the movies. So train yourself to substitute those moments to things where you can fill into your own cup. For example, I love to be held. I love going to sleep with somebody, being held in my arms. I like to be cuddled with. I like quality time spending. What did Tina do? I bought a body pillow. And you're probably like, it ain't the same, sis, as a man. I know, but I want you to understand that when I will go to bed, TV on, falling asleep, good show, turn off the TV, pray, go to bed, put the pillow beside me. Instead of having somebody come over and waste my time, somebody that I know I do not see myself being with, somebody that I know is not ready for what I am looking for, why waste my energy, my divine feminine energy, with somebody that does not see the same thing as I do in life? There is absolutely no point. I'd rather just stay to myself. You know what I mean? Another example, I love to go to the movies. I'm telling you, the amount of movies that I wish I saw in theaters and I was trying to go with somebody, foolish. I should have went on my own. I remember when they re-released Lion King, I wanted to go with somebody. It doesn't have to be the opposite sex either. I'm just saying in general, like whatever you want to do to relate to yourself. I was in college. They re-released Lion King in theaters. I wanted to go with somebody. I ended up not going because of that. What other movie I wanted to see in theaters? The Transformers, I forgot which one, but the one that had the animals, not Age of Extinction, but the one that had like the ape, the gorilla, the rhino, whatever. Y'all get my point. That Transformers, I can't even think right now. I wanted to go with somebody. I should have went by myself. Plain and simple. Certain events, Boston Ballet when I was in college, or even after college. You get my point. Certain concerts, certain events, again, going back to movies, because I love movies, you guys. You don't have to go with somebody. You really don't. Now, and I'm not saying now like 2026, but like after college, like I taught myself, just go. Oh, you want to go catch a flight, go to New York, you want to go on a trip towards this place, nobody want to go down with you. Be comfortable traveling by yourself. It's really not that hard. I feel like when it comes to people nowadays, we see things in society because they put it in our heads. They make us feel like as if we have to do something with somebody else. Like, for example, the movies that I mentioned earlier. You don't have to go to the movies with somebody. I find myself really like having my quality time, filling into my feminine side. You know what I'm saying? The femininity, my nurturing side, my self-care. Go to the movies. I pack my blanket, my Celtics blanket. I pack some Five Guys, or not Chipotle. I see the brain in my head. Popeyes or Five Guys. Put a sandwich in my bag. I head off my little Longchamp bag. Like, I go there in some comfortable clothes, my Uggy Wuggies on. I enjoy it. I got a nice hoodie, a wool hoodie, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Imagine all those moments that you wasted because you wanted to go with somebody. You should have just went by yourself. Enjoy your own company. I feel like now I look back, I'm like, damn, I should have went by myself. Like, I get it, but it's a real statement as you get older. Like, watch the company you keep. It all makes sense now. Like, you know what they say when you were younger, as kids, your parents feel like when you get older you'll understand. I'm at that point. When you get older you'll understand. Like, it all makes sense. It all makes sense now. Now I look back, I'm like, yo, what was I thinking? Another one I want to talk about too is I have outgrown some of my tattoos. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I love tattoos. I do. I just feel like with modeling, acting, and they're not crazy, you know what I mean? You guys see my pictures on my Instagram. I want to get rid of the Capricorn on my waistline. And I'm over here like, what was I thinking? Like, I get it. I love being a Capricorn. It's cool. But as I get older, I'm like, yo, and not to get all conspiracy, like, but this is a real thing. Not Capricorn. Tattoos were from tribal events back in the day, like before biblical times. You know what I mean? Like, they had that stuff where it was part of a ceremony. A ceremonious thing to do. When you tattoo on your skin, you're manifesting what that tattoo is. So example, let's say you get a butterfly, or you know what I mean? It goes through the good, the bad, the ugly, then gets better. It's going through its transformation in life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. So what I mean by good, bad, and ugly is like you're in a cocoon, you were a caterpillar, you grew, then became wings. You're gonna manifest things to happen in your life. You tattoo somebody's name that is toxic, you're gonna be manifesting their energy onto your body because it's a blood pack that you are putting onto your skin. Not to mention the person that is a tattoo artist. Now, if you don't believe me, it's fine, but it is history. Tattoos didn't just come from art. There's a reason why tattoos were created in the first place. The Western culture have changed it, modernized it to tattoos and, you know, art and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a tattoo. Do as you please, but I just personally believe that when it comes to the tattoos that I have, like Capricorn, things I have experienced, I feel like I manifested it because I have a tattoo on me that says Capricorn. So I want to get rid of that one. So I guess that's something else that I have outgrown. Now I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? Now I look back, I'm like, did I have to get that tattoo? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not worried about the other one I have on my head because that's the one I was inspired by Rihanna. The one right here is ancient Buddhist language. It's called Sanskrit. Same font as Rihanna's tattoo on her waist. It says, "Incredible sweetheart." I wanted the font to be smaller, but they couldn't shrink it, so it's wide. And I'm over here like, did I really have to get that? Like, you know what I mean? But that one I like. I just wish the font was smaller. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I just feel like as you grow, and maybe it is an age thing. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I just feel like there's certain things that age does come with wisdom. With wisdom. I said wisdom. Age does come with wisdom. Fine. I give up. You got it. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It makes perfect sense. Because as you get older, I look back and like, okay, now that I have experienced certain things in my life, there's certain things I would not do. And there's certain things that I will not tolerate. And there's certain things I'm like, yo, why'd you do that? And it's because I was hoping for a different outcome. But it's okay. It's all learning experience. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect, but I'm getting better and better by the day. Anyways, we have reached the end of our vlog. Let me know what you guys think of this conversation in the comments. I know that you guys are huge fans of the try-on hauls. I love it. I definitely want to do a try-on haul. I have one right now for an urban brand. I'm just waiting to get one more piece because you guys, I don't like doing vlog try-on hauls for 3 pieces. It's just, it makes no sense. Child, go put it in the closet. Stop. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I'd rather do try-on hauls for at least 5+ pieces. It just makes more sense. 5+. We're gonna keep on doing the tea with Tititaughtyou. We love the try on hauls. I will shoot a chit chat, get ready with me makeup in the future as well. You guys like those too, but the ones for the try on hauls, you guys really like that. I need to turn it up more, up a notch, because I want to do more of the urban brands too, because you guys, there's so many things I want to vlog. Like, it's insane. Have y'all seen Nike Skims right now? Like, Nike Skims, Brava Studios dropped another pair of bear clogs. I want to do one with like Supreme. Like, there's so many ideas I got like bouncing in my head, and I've written it down, but just one step at a time. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I'll see you guys next week, and happy holidays. Mwah.